What's happening, YouTube? Hey, welcome back to the channel. I am that guy. If you guys missed the first video, the part 1, please go check it out. You guys will see exactly what we are doing here to the Crf250F. This is a 2023. We have wasted no time on doing just about any and everything to this bike that is available. So we are going to go ahead and get started on this thing, the assembly. This is going to be a little bit of a longer video. I'm going to try and speed a lot of things up just because this is going to be the full install of the entire part 1. So let's get right into this thing. All right, guys, jumping straight into this bad boy. I'm not going to actually do everything in real time. We'll go ahead and fast forward a lot of this stuff up for you guys. Just want to show you guys how to get started on this thing. You will want to go ahead and remove your seat. You've got your two 12 millimeters on each side, one on each side. That'll take my tugger strap off as well. Get your side plastics off, your 8 millimeter bolts going around. Go ahead and remove that and remove your fuel tank, which is going to be as far as this hex key right up here. And then you're going to have an 8 millimeter, one on each side. You'll probably have a couple sensors up underneath there, which we'll show you guys once we get a little closer. Obviously, you can see what we did, but as far as your Allen key, hex head, whatever you want to call it, it's going to be a 6 millimeter for up top here. That will release that. If you step onto the other side, I'll go ahead and show you. And this is also going to be a real good time to clean your bike, which we will do. Anyway, up underneath here, you do have one plug, and then you do have your actual fuel line. We'll go ahead and get those things removed right here, and we'll have the tank off. And then we're gonna give it a good wipe down. All right, guys, so we have got the fuel tank off. I'll go ahead and show you guys a couple things because this fuel line is, it's similar, it's kind of like a little quick connect, disconnect. Anyway, I'll show you a couple things here. The plug is pretty self-explanatory. All you do is just pull that back, push it, pull it off. Anyway, you've got this yellow clip that actually runs right in here like so. You will just push down on the pin. If I can get a clear picture, not of my fingers. There you go, push down on it and then pull it straight out, but you're not done there. I will take you around to this side. There's gonna be some little black pins. You can kind of see in here. Let's see. Yep, you got one there, one over here. Anyway, all you do is just slide a pick into one side just to pull it out a little bit, slide one side up, take your pick, push that side in, pop it straight off. Now, moving on forward, everything can be done without taking the engine out of the bike. So that is the pretty cool thing. Now, before I open any of this up, I am going to clean all this. So that is gonna be my first step. I will catch back up with you guys here in just a second as soon as I have that done. All right, guys, your next step after you've got everything cleaned up here, unless you guys clean it with a toothbrush like I don't. Anyway, the next part is gonna be definitely taking the exhaust off. So we're gonna go ahead and get that removed. I will end up cleaning that thing up, get it a little polished up and stuff when I have it off here. So let's go ahead and get at it. All right, guys, so the only thing I've done is here, as you can see, I took the exhaust off. I just took the, as far as just your front, your head pipe off here. I did take as far as this mount here for your motor, and then the other one I just broke loose. That's all I did on this side. It does have a spacer in between here, So I do have a few other sensors and all the disconnect here. As far as the head, we are gonna break everything loose all the way back around. Anyway, you've got 2 8mm bolts here. You've got one sensor right here to unplug, and then we'll go ahead and we'll get as far as valve cover, we'll get that stuff off so we can go ahead and get the head removed. Number one is going to be that you are top dead center as far as before you end up releasing everything. Verifying as far as your top dead center. You do have 2 lines on each side right here as far as on your cam. So to verify that as far as your top dead center, we'll move the bike here just a little bit. You will end up taking as far as this little peephole here as far as for your case. You will end up removing that just to verify. All right, guys, so for getting this thing top dead center, we'll go ahead and show you as soon as you remove both of your little holes here, your covers. So right here, you've got what is gonna be a 17. All right, go ahead, place it right there. And inside this other hole, you are gonna see a little notch. Move my finger, there we are, right here. That notch is gonna line up. You are gonna see a T come through here. So I'll show you guys here. Let me grab my wrench and I will show you. All right, guys, so as we are rotating this, you are gonna start to see, it'll slowly start coming around. There it is. All right, so see if I can get this thing to kind of get a better light in there, but anyway, that is what you're looking like for as far as lining that bad boy up. It is a T, right? Now with that being top dead center there, you will come over here and you will notice that your tick marks here are side by side. So there you are officially top dead center and can start removing the rest. Now, what we're gonna do is go ahead and take out these 2 8mm right here, and we are gonna go ahead and pop this cam off. I will go ahead and tell you guys too, you also have as far as your chain, your tensioner over here on the other side. It's 2 8mm bolts. You can go ahead and remove that as well. It'll take a lot of this pressure and stuff off this chain, how it's super tight. I just loosened it up as far as on the actual cam itself, and then I'll go ahead and I'll take this tensioner out of here. Like to rotate too, go top a little bit, bottom a little bit, not taking them all out at the same time. There you are. Prefer not to drop one. If I do, I've got a magnet. I just hope that, there we go. All right. And you can just wiggle this off just like this. I know it's hard to see with my other hand in the way, but you can wiggle her off, lower it down a little bit. Take that chain off. We're just gonna take it, drop it down in there. All right, so next, what we have in here is you have got your, let's see here, 14mm. There is one on all 4 corners. We're gonna go ahead and loosen this up as well. We will replace as far as the camshaft and all that stuff once we get this thing completely off the bike. I will tell you, these things are tight. My little 2-way ratchet right here. Thing's pretty badass. honestly, I like it. All right, also in here, you are gonna have two 10 millimeters. These things are pretty long. I've already loosened them up, but you will also take those out as well. As you can see, they are pretty long. So go ahead and remove these two as well. That will be fully replaced. Anyway, and I do have, as far as my valve spring compressor too, which I will show you guys that when the time comes. And then of course, you do end up, as far as your intake and exhaust valves and all, you do have with what they send you is the spec range for what they say it should be in. So I do have, of course, a bunch of different Shim kits. So we'll go ahead. I'm gonna get the as far as the engine cleaned up a little bit. All right, guys, for getting the camshaft out and all, what you're essentially gonna do is here, you have actually got your two rocker arms right here. So there are little pins right here. You can actually access them from both sides. Anyway, easiest way, because there is a 10 millimeter right here that you'll want to, that would have to come out to get your exhaust side out this way. So anyway, you're gonna push it back through this way. I'm just using an Allen key just to kind of push it on out. But anyway, you'll see after you've removed your two 8 millimeters from the very top, you can just pull these straight on out and they come off just like that. So do that there to both sides. I've already loosened this one up as well. Same thing, just push her straight on through, and voila, there you go. All right, guys, so as far as with your camshaft, you do have to also, before you install it, you do need to remove that rear bearing off here. It says sometimes you can get it off with your hand. No, negative, not in this case. So anyway, I've just got a clean flat head and all, and essentially am you guys can also see we are just placing it in the exact position it was in before. There we go. Very nice. All right. We'll have shims in these as well that come factory from the factory there. So we'll go ahead and pop those out. And I do have my table marked here as far as which way they go. Not my table, my cardboard. We're gonna have to verify it as well once we get everything put back on and installed. So it's really not too big of a deal. Break out our handy dandy old valve spring compressor here. And you can kind of see, so this one right here, I got this from Tusk a while back. I had, of course, my race quads and stuff like that when I was racing and all, and even before then. But you'll essentially, as you can see, a little too small. Perfect, right there. The other one's probably gonna be a little too big. Yeah, just a little too big. Anyway, you just wanted to fit on there a little snug, not, it's just gonna be for compressing it, that's all. But anyway, place it on there, just like that. And essentially it's just like big old vice grip is all that it is. But anyway, you are just compressing it far enough to essentially remove, there are little, well, the actual retainers that are in there. And I will show you guys here in just a sec. But what you're going to do is you're going to get it lined up with whichever valve you're doing. So we're going to start with this one first, our left one. Yep. Go. And I'll bring you guys in a little bit closer as I'm talking. I'll bring you guys closer with my phone and you guys will see what I'm talking about here. So I know as you guys see on the camera over here, but we have just compressed as far as the valve spring in. And you will see there are two tiny little retaining nuts, or two little retainers, I guess. There's one on each side. Anyway, those will come out. We'll have to take those out here. So we do have those little pieces right there. As you can see, we have snapped the one. Just remember which way they went on. They are kind of cone shaped, so you really can't get it wrong. But anyway, just make sure you put them back right. Then what we're going to do is we're going to back this out. That way we can put the new little retainers here. We can place those on it. So just slowly back it out. There we go. And as you'll see, we will pop this real small thin one off and we will replace it with a larger one. Go ahead and compress it again, just making sure that the valve does go in, slides in nice and smooth, which right now it is not, mostly because you do not want to bend your valve. There it is. All right, show you guys too real quick just so you guys know exactly what I'm talking about with lining that up. So you'll see the valve in there, right here. So essentially, whenever you go to tighten it back up, sometimes it can get hung up on the actual, on the retainer, this little spacer here. It'll get hung up on the back side. So just make sure that when you're tightening this back down, to put your retaining clips back on there, that you do actually seat that in there so you don't bend your valve. All right, guys, and yes, I know you guys did not end up seeing it when we did swap the new camshaft, got it placed in here. I did actually use using Permatex just for as far as engine assembly lube and all, just on some of your new stuff. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and just the exact reverse order here on putting everything back together. So we've already popped that in, and then you'll do the same exact thing for putting these rocker arms, putting them back in. Just line them straight up. And you will see, I'll bring you on over here to my phone to where you can see this a little bit clearer for lining that up for your 8mm. All right, guys, and for these 8mm that we just put back in, since we are reassembling it, we will end up putting this back to torque specs here, which, if you guys have missed it before, I will go ahead and tell you, if you guys are new to the channel and all, and have probably missed some of the other videos, I do, if you go to the community section here on the channel, I have got, from probably about 6 or 7 months ago, I have got torque specs for the bike. I've got the sheets laid out there for you guys. But I am going to tell you what you guys need. So as far as your rocker arm, your top bolts, those are just 5.2 foot-pounds. So on our torque wrench, yeah, we're going a little old school, nothing digital here like some of these folks have. We've got inch pounds. So well, we're going to multiply it by 12. Let's see. So you're looking at 61 point, roughly about 61. Let's see here. We got 50, 61. There we go. I like to have me an old digital one, just hear a beep and let it go. Go. All right, and that's that. So we will we'll go ahead and get ready to get everything swapped over. As far as our old cylinder, really don't have much. We'll go ahead and get the gaskets and all, and get these little seating pins and stuff out of here, and we'll get ready to mount this thing back up after we swap out the piston. All right, guys, so right up in here, as far as for swapping your piston out, you do also, there is a, as far as the orientation, intake versus exhaust side, essentially same principle, all right? Your exhaust facing forward, intake towards the rear, obviously like where it bolts up to. Anyway, you've got your piston, your pin inside here. It has a little bit of wiggle room, not too much, but anyway, push it to the one side, and there is actually a little ring clip in here. You will just pull and lift up, and it should snap out. It'll have a little bit of tension behind it. Go ahead and push it through from the other side. Clips. Anyway, go ahead and just push that pin through on the other side. There we go. Piston is off, and anyway, yeah, a lot of that buildup you're seeing on here, sometimes it could be running, you know, a little too lean or whatnot. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and blame that probably on the EJK. Just probably some of the settings and stuff that I've ran. And I know for a fact that it's dumped a lot of fuel as well at times. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and grab the new piston, and we'll get her swapped out. All right, guys, so your piston, you can do it a couple different ways. Anyway, the way that I just did it is just putting your piston in, then you'll drop your cylinder down on it. Be careful of those rings that you don't unseat them or anything. Be very careful too. I usually just take a pick, which you'll see here in just a second, and I will just kind of put the ends where it's kind of open on the one end. I'll just put a pick there on the sides and just kind of barely push it in, and it just slides right up into the cylinder. Or you can end up doing it the other way, which I won't be doing. You can put the piston in the cylinder itself, kind of keep it at the bottom, and then you can just slide it straight over, already pre-installed in the cylinder, and then you can slide it over, put your pin in, you know, put your little what you call your little clips and all around the pin. So you can do it that way if you want to. Obviously, I didn't do it that way. But anyway, shooter preference, don't matter. We are going to go ahead and get that, the cylinder and all installed, as well as replacing the studs that we broke. So if you guys haven't seen 1.5, please go check that out. That'll explain a lot of stuff and why this is taking so long, as well as huge shout out and update and all for if anybody is looking to do a kit like this. So there's a lot of information that will help you out in that 1.5. Go check it out. All right, guys, once you're putting your cam back on, top dead center. All right, top dead center, like we verified before. Just make sure that it goes on the same exact way you took it off. That's how you want it to look right here. Top dead center. All right, guys, now that we have everything pretty much put together here, tightened up, top dead center on everything, we're gonna go ahead and check our valve clearance. So 0.015 to 0.02, we are going to check these ones first. Let's see, we've got our feeler gauges here. And I don't know that we will go. Yep, nope, pretty tight. Let's see, we will check the 0.1. All right, we have got our 0.01. Nope, tight. Tight. All right, so we are going to need to put a little bit, some smaller shims in here for both sides, which these little retainers and all that they came with are a lot bigger than the stock ones, so I figured we may have to go down in size. So anyway, I do have a Hot Cams shim kit up here. What we're gonna do for that is, luckily we can do everything while it's all put together still. So essentially we're just going to release the pin for our rocker arms there. We're gonna go ahead and take out those two 8mm bolts. These ones right here, we're gonna go ahead and take these out. And then from this side, we will just go ahead and push those pins straight out. It'll release these arms. And then we're gonna take these shims out. You'll need a little magnet, but you are gonna take the shims out. We're gonna read what's on them, and then we'll go a little bit smaller to kind of put us in spec where we need to be. So we'll play around with some math here in just a second. All right, now that we've got that removed, we will go ahead and pop these shims out. I'm gonna go ahead and go left to right. And, well, if they will come out, come on. There it is. And we are going to take these over to the table and, well, can't really get a clear angle on it. Anyway, we're gonna take these over to the table. All right, guys, so I was slightly mistaken. Anyway, it is a 0.01 to a 0.012 for your intake side. So right now I am going with, this is a Hot Cam set. I am at 2.35 on these. This should be the magic number. The stock ones are not labeled, and I did not do my research on what the OEM size is, if there is one or if it varies. Anyway, so you just kind of got to toy around with it for your first numbers. I did make a slight modification to the exhaust as well, which is a 2.2. Yeah, so anyway, we're going to see what this gets us. Kind of compared sizes, but our intake side should be pretty dead on. So let's check it out here in just a sec. All right, let's try the 01 here first. There we go. All right, we'll try the 0.012. All right, yeah, that's pretty tight. Well, a little tight. All right, so that one's good. We will go ahead and move over to the exhaust side and check this next. All right, guys, so I did make a minor adjustment from a 2.25 down to a 2.15, and I am sitting pretty nice here with, let's see here, 0.016. So this one has a spectrum here of, yeah, there we go. This one can go from 0.15 up to 0.2. So on the exhaust side, I am sitting at a 2.15 shim for both of them. And then the intake side, I'm sitting at a 2.35. Landed me, I mean, pretty darn accurate there. The 0.01 slid right up underneath the intake side, stuck a little bit on the 0.12. So yeah, we're good there. We're going to go ahead and put the valve cover here back on after we tighten everything back down as far as those 2 8mm. And yeah, we'll put this case on and all from the clutch kit that we installed. So stay tuned for that video too. We do have that one coming out. But yeah, we'll go ahead, get that swapped over, put some oil in this bad boy. Don't forget to put your cam chain tensioner, place that back in here. All right, we've got the last bit here bolted up, and go ahead and fill up with some oil here. We did swap out the filter and all as well, just got that fresh and going here too. So we're gonna go ahead and be just about good to go. So stay with us here and we'll get this thing wrapped up. All right, guys, so we do have a little bit more to do as far as we just tidying this thing up, just button it all back together, like bolting the fuel tank down, putting that last engine mount on the right side here. But I will get into some stuff. We do have to do the brake line, put that back up, stuff like that. But we just wanted to essentially test everything out, make sure everything was good to go before we completely put this thing back together. But stay tuned, y'all. I'm sure a lot of you guys probably noticed as far as the airbox being completely cut open. We're gonna get into all that stuff in the tuning video, I promise you. So stay tuned for that. We are working with the guys over there at Force Cam to get this thing dialed in perfect. We have got plenty of time, thankfully. These guys have been absolutely phenomenal, helping out and pretty much answering everything just to get this bike fully dialed in. So we are going to work on that a little bit more. We will have that video coming out here shortly. Again, I will go ahead and just put it out there. I am no engine building professional and all. So some of you guys may have different ways about going about things. That is perfectly fine. If you guys are this far into the video, I appreciate you guys greatly. However, with that being said, take everything, grain of salt if you guys are a pro out there. Regardless, that is the video on the full install of the 275 race cam kit from Force Cam.
Links are all in the description, guys. Make sure you guys drop, if you guys do end up ordering something from these guys, let them know where you guys found them at. Just drop the channel. Whenever you talk to those guys, they'll take great care of you. Appreciate every single one of y'all, and we will catch you guys here very shortly for the tuning in the very next video. See y'all.